This is what's left of my Porsche Cayman GT4. That is after it was crashed into a lamppost in the rain on a prom run. And it's not looking too good.
So what once upon a time was a well-maintained, gorgeous, nicely modified GT4 and was obviously someone's pride and joy is now a complete wrecked mess. But this is where I come in. I found this car on the Copart salvage auction website. But as soon as I saw this car, I knew there was one thing I needed to do with it, because I've got one goal at the end of this build.
I want to build this car to be able to improve my standard of driving by getting out on track more and having a bit of fun with it. But in order to do that, we need to get this car repaired to a high standard, because pushing any car to its limit on track is a risk, let alone one that's been repaired, so we need to make sure this has been done properly. Now, in the last video, we stripped this car down completely of all its body panels, so the doors, the side skirts, and the complete front end are removed. But before we can consider replacing any of that stuff, we've got a lot more to do, because we need to strip everything else off this front end and most of the interior out in order to replace this front tub and more.
But that's a huge job for anyone, let alone someone like me who isn't a trained mechanic. I'm just figuring it out as I go. But in order to get to that point, there's so much I need to remove, like
all of the master cylinder, the fuel tank, the battery tray, everything that you can see here, all of the radiators and everything structural wise left on the front, the subframe and all the suspension components, and I guess we'll just figure out the rest after that.
So we're just going to take off what we can see and go from there. And the first thing I want to get off is this radiator on the driver's side, so that means taking out all of the hoses and unplugging it, and it should just unclip. Next up, we can take off the crash bar, which nearly caused me to lose my teeth. And now that that's out of the way, we can also look at taking off this radiator in the middle, which thankfully seems to have survived. So I can put that in the pile of all the good bits that we don't need to replace, and then we can look at what's next.
The next thing I think I'm going to do is get the wipers off, the scuttle panel, the wiper mech, and start working on everything here, and that should reveal a bit more. One of my worries is because of the location of the fuel tank, that this impact may have damaged it. It's a possibility, so I want to check on that, see if that's okay, and see what else has been squashed in the accident, because there's going to be something behind there. It's moved a lot.
So I can get the wipers off the car, followed by the scuttle panel, and then take out the 3 bolts for the wiper mech.
And I am slightly concerned because over this side of the car I can smell fuel, so does that mean potentially all this damage has damaged the fuel tank as well? So I've got to be careful from here. Let's not make any sparks, let's not make any explosions. But I want to strip this back so we can have a good poke around in there.
And in order to do that, the first thing I need to try and get out is the battery. So there's a clamp over the top of that which holds it in place, and then I'm also going to remove the things that are surrounding it, because at the moment it's shoved over to the left a bit, making it really tricky to remove. But once I got it out, I can also take out the battery tray, which is the first time I can see the top of the fuel tank. And now we need to carry on with stripping everything else out of here. So we've got this kind of pollen filter housing which needs to go, a charcoal filter which comes off the fuel tank, and a bunch of other stuff.
Well, I think we might have some good news, but we've also got some different bad news to go with it. So from what I can see up here, I don't want to jinx it, but the fuel tank actually looks okay, but the ABS module, not so good. So we need to try and find a way to get this out. It's now very, very awkward to access because everything is so crushed around it. So I don't really know where the bolts are, and I can't really see them either, which is a bit of a nightmare. So I need to get a new one of them definitely, and well, figure out how the hell I'm going to get it out of this car.
But I guess if that's the worst that I find, it's not actually that bad. It was always going to have to come off anyway. I was always going to have to re-bleed it. So really, it's not the end of the world. I've just got to find another one for a reasonable price.
Okay, next job up here before we look at getting the fuel tank out is going to be getting this brake servo out, I think. And to do that means going way up here. And seeing as the interior has got to come out anyway, I think now is the prime time to do that job, because it's going to make it a lot easier getting the brake servo out, and also it's a job I've got to do anyway. Yay. And on the interior, the first thing that's going to come out is these lovely carbon fibre bucket seats, which I actually have just found out are shared with the Porsche 918, the hypercar hybrid thing, and these cost £11,000 second hand. So I definitely want to look after these. I don't want to be replacing them, I don't want to be scratching them up. Let's get these out.
So I can undo the 4 bolts for the seat, the plug underneath, and remove the seat belt and take out the driver's side.
Now, my car is currently losing most of its parts, and I'm losing some of mine too. I'm talking about my hair follicles.
And it was the same on the passenger side, so Danny opted to do this one so he can get the 4 bolts out and get that unplugged too.
But thankfully, the guys at Manual have got something which can help the follically challenged like me and maybe you. Straight out. No sweat for Danny. With a range of scientifically proven treatments developed to suit your lifestyle. So if you're looking to keep the hair, which you've currently got, or which you're trying to regrow some, which you may have already lost. So with the help from Manual, you can take a quick assessment on their website, and they can quickly and easily advise you on the best plan to suit your hair. They also offer unlimited free support with continued monitoring from clinicians who can make adjustments to your plan to maximize your results. Now, I'm not going to try and explain the science of it, but if you are interested, I encourage you to go over to the Manual website, and there you can find all the information on how the science behind their hair treatments work. Manual has been trusted by over 200,000 men, and if you want to add another one to that, make sure to go to the link in the description and discount code SLIX55, which is going to save you 55% off your first hair loss treatment package. Get in! Now, I say this every single time I do a dash. I'm going to try and leave the dashboard on the frame. I've never managed it before, but I know it's doable. Because that means instead of taking out loads of little Torx bolts like this, we're just looking for the big fat ones which hold the dash frame into the car, and we can pull it all out as one unit. It's probably not going to work, but I'm determined one day to be able to do it that way because, well, it makes your life a lot easier.
And although I've never managed it, we can give it our best go. And I've done a few interiors and a few dashboards before, and I know the first thing that we've got to take out is this center console. And I'm trying my best not to break anything, but so far we're getting on okay with most of the trims out and also the center screen out too. And now with all of that out of the way, that reveals the last few bolts which hold this central frame in place, and then once we've got that all untucked from the carpet at the back, we can slide it out of the car. Then straight onto the dash.
Center console out, and that was a nightmare. We've got the 2 bolts out here on both sides, and we've got the bracket in the middle removed, and also 1 bolt which went here and another one which went here removed. I'm really just guessing here, but the good news is there is some movement in the dash now. I think once we've got the steering wheel off and also the clock spring which holds all the indicator stalks and everything like that, I think we've just got 2 more which go into the steering column. I've already unplugged the dash wiring from here, and that might be it. Maybe. Maybe. Nice. Oh!
So now that we've got the steering wheel removed, we can also remove the clock spring, which then should give us full access to be able to slide the dash over the steering column. So now I think we have everything out that we need to get out, and all that's left to do is try and pull this dash out of the car. I'm praying this is going to work. But unfortunately, it didn't.
Oh, I remember something we forgot. Put it back in, put it back in. There we go. I've remembered something. We forgot these heater pipes.
So it looks like I've got a bit ahead of myself. The last thing I think holding the dash in now is going to be these 2 heater pipes which go into the heater box and warm the car. So we can get those off and give it another go.
Right, you ready? I think this is it. Take 7 sports fans. Does that feel a lot more free moving? Massively. Oh my god. Oh, hey up. What are we stuck on? I don't know. Oh no. Ah! No, you're in. Sorry. Oh, there's something there, definitely something there. Oh. See? Right, now you come through the car. Okay. Where's the son? Right, hold your horses. I'm holding them. We're going around that side. I can't believe we're doing it that way, that's a madness. It's easier. Well, it weren't that bad, is it? Easy considering. Yeah! Where are we going? Feeling smug.
And yes, I was feeling happy about the fact that we managed to get a dashboard out in that way, but there's one thing that I can't get off my mind. And that is, with all of these parts that we're taking off, am I ever going to be able to get them back together?
Well, there we have it. Dashboard's out in a way that I've never done before. And Danny's never even took a dash out before, you Danny? Nope. Now you have, and you did it in a Porsche. Big up. Well done you. You're the best. Thank you. That's good. Now, do you remember what we did that to start? Brake servo. But it's another job ticked off the list. It's all good stuff.
So now, to get that brake servo out, we've also got to disconnect this pedal box. So that means taking out the throttle pedal to be able to remove the carpet, which then gives us access to all of the bolts. And even though we might have removed this without using the Porsche method, hello, we got it out in the end. So with all of the pedals removed, we can remove the brake servo and the master cylinder as one unit. And then that gives us access to more bolts, meaning we can carry on with the strip down in the front end.
Well, getting it that far was a bit of a battle, but Danny's helped me through it again. Big up Daniel. Now, we're really getting through this section. So I think the next thing I want to tackle up here is the wiring. We need to pull that back through here, so that means loosening it all off and then trying to pull it through the bulkhead just here. But one problem we have is the wiring here is actually, well, one of the plugs is actually caught, which is, I believe, intact. So we need to try and pry this back in order to save the plug and just try and loosen everything off. Feed it over there, feed it in, and that should be the wiring dealt with.
So using a bar, we can lever open a very tight gap in order to be able to feed that wiring through. And then we can start right at the front of the car and slowly undoing every single clip, every single earth point, and bringing the wiring back towards the windscreen.
Right, here's where we are. We have got interior strips. The main aim in here is to get everything out the way that could set on fire. So, got this side of the carpet stripped out, that side's ready to pull out. All we need to do left inside here really is get the wiring off the firewall and probably these kind of junction boxes and fuse boxes. Not too bad. Around the front, this wiring is ready to come out bar one wire, which goes it's this one here. It goes right down the gap between the fuel tank and the firewall. Why they do that, I have no idea, because it's only that wire. Then it runs all the way underneath the car to a box kind of back here underneath there somewhere. Who knows why? That's just how they've done it. But to get that out, that means we need to get the fuel tank out. To get the fuel tank out, that means we need to get the subframe off. So I suppose that's the next job, and here's how we're going to do it. Now the ramp still ain't working. They need the certification to be able to be allowed to be used in the UK, which we're still waiting on, but it should be very soon, fingers crossed. So we're going to have to do it on the floor. Not the most fun situation, but doable. So my idea is, because we've already got the steering disconnected, because the dash is out and that's where it's disconnected from, all we've got left to do is disconnect the brake line for this side, because this side is ripped off, And then subframe bolts, lower it down a bit with the jacks, then take out the top mount bolts, lift it up with the jacks, axle stands underneath, slide the subframe forwards. Sounds like a plan, right? Good. Probably not going to be that easy, but that's my idea, that's my thinking. Then that will reveal everything we need to get the fuel tank out, and we'll all be hunky-dory. So we should have normally about 6, so I'm going to go with this one, this one, this one, maybe that one. So that'd make it 8 because they'd be the same the other side. There's also these coolant pipes attached, so we'll have to carefully deal with those as it comes down, either that or I may just be able to unbolt and unclip and we'll just kind of reassemble it back on the floor. But apart from that, it looks pretty simple, he says.
I'd say so.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. Oh yes! If I perish, I perish.
No perishing.
No perishing yet. Slight change of plan. What I'm going to do, leave these coolant pipes on the subframe and try and disconnect them here so it all comes down with it.
That's what you do to them.
Oh, I've been massacred. It's in my eye. Just play nice. There she goes. Oh, what a day. Yes.
Hey,
Oh, no.
oh.
Before I forget as well, we've got to disconnect these brake lines, which are actually, what's the brand called again? Manti.
Oh,
Manti Racing brake lines, which were just fitted before the car was crashed about 2 days before. So I'm hoping this shouldn't be seized in. So let's see. Oh, Manti. I think this side is all self-deleted, so we don't actually have to do anything here. Right, Reagan, I might perish at this point, okay? If I do perish, tell my mum I loved her.
You've made it, man.
Now, this one's going to be a bit trickier because, well, do you want to zoom in on the state of it and let's assess. How am I going to get that out? I'm not getting a socket on it, am I? We're left with no choice. We must cut. Where are you from? As if you missed that, Reagan.
I was just going to say, imagine you take that tank out and the old subframe drops.
I cannot believe that. Literally, the whole subframe is being held up by this. One subframe. High five, everyone. Reagan is everyone. Now for the fuel tank. Now, as far as I can see, just a couple of clips and a couple of bolts still holding this in, but Reagan is going to very kindly keep an eye on what's going on up top, whilst I bring it down, hopefully onto my chest, and then we just figure out what we do with it from there. Maybe try and go out that way, but it's going to be full of fuel in there, which is going to make it nasty if it does go wrong. So let's all wish me luck, good wealth and happiness and all that. So
Right.
One hook back here, there we go. Life's not ream right now. That was not elegant. Give your hand up. She's out, and the good news is, it looks undamaged, which I'm surprised by, but it definitely saves us some money, and well, it's just good news. When stuff isn't broken, it's always nice, isn't it? So we can get this tucked to the side. I'll put a little rubber glove over there, hopefully that stops anything going in there. On to the next thing. Alright! So, now we're trying to get this wiring out, which means we need to get these wires here through, which annoyingly connects to that wire, and I don't know why they've done it like that, but it goes right down the side of the fuel tank here, which is really, really stupid. There's a little brace I've got to take off, and both of those wires should be able to come through here, up and out, all wiring inside the car. Great!
So now with that awkward wiring dealt with, we can now start pushing this wiring loom through the bulkhead and getting it well out of the way of this front end.
The maddest thing with this car, right, all of that, and the engine's not even in the front. Imagine if you were to take the whole loom out, that's nuts, isn't it? And that is one stripped Porsche. There is literally nothing left on this front end now. Let me show you. Well, there's nothing to show you because there's nothing on it. This is about where anything I can do really stops, because I don't know much about cutting up cars. I don't know much about fitting new parts either. So we've got some help.
Yo.
That's Mickey from the machine shop, and he is going to be, well, guiding us, helping us, teaching us through how the hell we're going to do this structural repair.
So we had a few last bits left to strip out of the interior. And once Mickey was happy with how that was looking, we could start to push forward on this structural repair. Sort of.
We'll just go straight through there, and straight through there, and the whole thing will come off.
Yeah. Right, yesterday I went down to SGS, picked up some new toys, especially for this job. We're going to get choppy, so tell me where I need to cut, because...
Straight down.
Straight down there. There?
Yep.
Am I doing it right?
Yep.
Okay, Sam. I can say I've never done that before.
That's that bit done.
Wow. I probably should be wearing some of them gloves because my hands feel like they're tingling now.
Oh, we'll put some gloves on in case you chop your hands up.
That was funny, that was. Where are we going this time?
Right, I want to go straight there. Hold the wheel because it's gonna...
It is going to fall off.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yep, go for it.
A bit thicker than I thought. Whoa! There we go. What a job.
Fit the trackings out.
Maybe a bit. Oh, that was fun.
Super.
Right, I can't wait to carry on. Where do I cut next?
Right.
That was well fun.
Listen,
That's the best way of taking a wheel. If I'm no longer using lug nuts,
No.
just chop them off.
No, because we're going to go straight through that.
Oh wait.
All the way down. Without 3 brake lines. Let's come round this side and do this bit first.
Okay.
What we've just done, but this bit's not bent.
Oh, so we're going to cut the nice side?
Yeah, unfortunately we got it.
God damn. Does anyone else want to go? Because this is so fun.
You can see how much that was, where that's bent, it was under stress. Like, look how it's kicked it down.
Yeah, yeah.
That means that bit is exactly the right place and it hasn't moved.
That answers it for everyone at home who's going to say, oh, the chassis is twisted.
No, definitely not.
There you go. Pro said so. I feel manly right now.
So now you can see how many sections he was going through. Look how many sections he was
Wow.
going
Fair play. This
through.
bloody good tool. That.
Super.
Oh mate,
That looks epic now, doesn't it?
that looks amazing. What the hell?
So now we have a Porsche in 2 pieces, but unfortunately we found some damage which we weren't quite expecting.
The wheel's gone up into the...
Yeah, it's had a good whack on that, hasn't it?
yeah.
So the wheel, when it was crashed, has pushed back and hit there and caused that as well.
Yeah.
Much worse than we originally anticipated. Hopefully this should come with the new piece, you reckon?
It does come with the new piece, yeah.
Perfect. Happy days. There we have it. A Porsche cut in half. That's the first time I've ever done that, and it, well, hopefully won't be the last. Everything else is stripped out the inside. All of that's cut off. We're now in the prime position to look at how we're going to start replacing all of this structural damage, and well, now we've got no choice, have we? But well, there's no turning back. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, and I'll catch you next time.